Today we are signing a lease agreement that is between you and Cope Property Management. We are not the owner of the property, but an agent of the owner to manage the property on his or her behalf. This agreement is based on the laws set forth in the South Carolina Residential Landlord and Tenant Act and is intended to benefit both the landlord and the tenants. Please verify that the address of the property you are renting is correct on the lease agreement that is in front of you. The terms indicate the effective dates that your lease begins and then goes month to month. The total amount of rent that you will pay during the term of the lease, the monthly rental rate, and the daily rate are provided in Item 4. Your rent is due on the 1st, but you have 5 days to pay your rent before you are charged late fees. This lease is written such that if you fail to pay rent by the 5th, you may file an eviction on the 6th without further notice. We like to work with people, so please communicate with us to avoid having an eviction filed against you. Late fees are $10 a day starting on the 6th. We cap late fees at $100 for any given month. It is company policy to file evictions on or before the 14th if rent has not been paid. Only occupants listed on the lease agreement are allowed to live in the property. Our company policy limits occupancy to no more than 2 people per bedroom, regardless of the age of the individuals. If you'd like to add a roommate, spouse, or child, you must get written consent from Cope Property Management. All occupants 18 and older must fill out an application and be screened. You will be charged $30 for any check returned by your bank for non-sufficient funds. We will only accept cash or certified funds to satisfy the bounced check. In addition, late fees will be imposed for every day after the 5th until the rent has been paid. The purpose of the security deposit is to ensure fulfillment of this agreement. It is intended to cover 1. Any damages to the property, 2. Any costs associated with hauling off belongings or trash left behind, and 3. To thoroughly clean the property if not done so at move out. The security deposit cannot be used to pay rent at any time. Your security deposit, along with an itemized list of deductions, will be mailed to you within 30 days of the lease end date or the date we get possession back, whichever is later. If you do not provide us with a forwarding address, we will mail the deposit to the last known address, which could delay the return of the deposit. The landlord is required to make available to you running water, hot water, and heat, and to maintain all electrical, gas, plumbing, sewer, heating, ventilation, and other appliances supplied except those specifically excluded on the lease agreement. However, it is your responsibility to pay your utility bills. Any appliance supplied by the landlord will be maintained by the landlord unless otherwise stated in the lease. An appliance that is excluded may be used. However, if it breaks or malfunctions, the landlord is not obligated to have it fixed or replaced. Garbage disposals and jetted tubs are examples of appliances that the landlord is not obligated to maintain. All keys and garage door openers must be returned upon move out to avoid being charged to rekey the home or replace the garage door opener. We do not allow any subleasing. Guests should not occupy the property for more than 10 days without being approved by Cope Property Management first. We have relied on the rental application in making our decision to enter into this agreement. If any of the information on the rental application is found to be false, we can terminate the lease immediately and seek damages and attorney's fees. The lease agreement that you are signing does not end at the lease end date, but rather extends on a month-to-month basis. Therefore, a written 30-day notice is required to terminate this agreement. If no notice is provided, the lease will continue. During a month-to-month lease, either party may terminate the lease by providing a written 30-day notice. After the initial lease term, if the landlord wants to increase the rental rate, we will provide you with a 15-day written notice prior to raising the rent. A 30-day notice to terminate the lease must be supplied in writing. We accept email as written notification. However, we strongly recommend that you request a confirmation email from us to verify that we received your notice. We consider a 30-day notice to begin on the next calendar day following delivery of the written notice. All utilities are the responsibility of the tenant unless otherwise stated in the lease agreement. As a tenant, you have certain responsibilities. It is your responsibility to keep the unit safe and clean and take all trash off in a timely manner. All outside trash must be put in an acceptable receptacle and not allowed to pile up anywhere on the property. It is your responsibility to clear all clogs. In the event your toilet, sink, shower, or dishwasher drain line develops a clog, you will need to plunge or snake the drain line to clear the clog. Please report any and all damage to plumbing, electrical, or HVAC as soon as you notice it. We really like to take care of our properties and would like to get these things fixed before they cause damage to the property. You are responsible for any repair costs due to your own carelessness or negligence or that of your guests. This also refers to damage by your equipment or furniture. For example, if you rammed your recliner into the wall causing damage, it is your responsibility to fix the wall. You are responsible for any and all routine maintenance, including but not limited to clearing clogs, changing light bulbs, testing smoke detectors monthly and replacing the batteries, cleaning the gutters, replacing HVAC filters monthly. Many heating and air service calls are related to dirty filters. That being said, you will be charged for the service call if the repairman reports back to us that the filters were dirty. Not only that, but changing the filters each month will help keep your power bills lower. We prefer that you use the cheap HVAC filters rather than the 90-day allergy filters. The system does not have to work as hard to pull air through. Yard maintenance is also your responsibility unless stated in the lease agreement. Maintaining the yard includes cutting and watering the grass, raking or blowing leaves, trimming shrubs and trees, and keeping the premises free of debris and fire ants. If the grass gets above 5 inches tall, Cope Property Management reserves the right to send a lawn care service to the home and charge you for the service. Pest control is also your responsibility. If you have any bug or rodent issues, you will need to hire an exterminator or get some bug spray to deal with the problem. However, within 3 days of moving in, if you notice a live infestation, let us know and we will send a pest control service to rid the home for the first time. The landlord will take responsibility for exterminating termites and carpenter bees. It is your responsibility to take reasonable precautions to protect the home during adverse weather. When temperatures drop below freezing, we ask that you drip water through the outdoor faucets at night to prevent the pipes from freezing. Never turn your heat or AC completely off, but rather turn the thermostat up or down accordingly. Hot, humid conditions can cause mold to germinate in the AC duct. Keeping the air circulating will prevent this from happening. Mold or mildew can grow anywhere there is water, a tub, sink, toilet. However, if you notice mold or mildew on a wall or ceiling, please let us know. You must run the bathroom fans while showering to prevent mold and mildew on the wall or ceiling of a bathroom. You and your guests shall not disturb the peaceful enjoyment of your neighbors or engage in or facilitate any criminal or drug activity. You cannot make any alterations or repairs to the property without written consent from the landlord. Any alterations made without permission will be fixed and charged to you for repayment. This includes painting. Please do not change the locks installed on the doors. If you really feel the need to change the locks, please let us know. A key must be supplied to Cope Property Management. If the home is part of a homeowners association, then all occupants are obligated to follow any rules or regulations they set forth. Motor vehicles, boats, trailers, RVs, and campers should not be stored on the property if they have missing or expired tags or if they are inoperative. At no time should any vehicle be parked on the grass or in the yard unless the area is designated for such purpose. Do not use nails, screws, or adhesive hangers except standard size picture hooks on walls or woodwork. Do not install wall anchors. Large or excessive holes are considered damage to the property. Repair costs will be taken out of the security deposit and that can become costly if several rooms have to be painted as a result. This rule is very important. Absolutely no pets allowed at any time for any reason inside or outside unless the pet addendum is attached. This means no pet sitting, no picking up stray animals, or no visiting pets. If any evidence of an unauthorized pet is found in the home, a minimum of $500 will be charged and could result in an eviction. Evidence may include, but is not limited to, pet odors, pet bowls, toys, food, or leashes on trees. If the pet addendum is attached, only the pet specified on the addendum is allowed. No other pets at any time for any reason. You must keep utilities on at all times during your lease. In the event utilities are terminated prior to the lease end date, you will be charged to reconnect the utilities as well as a $50 administrative fee. We do not allow the use of wood-burning fireplaces unless specified in the lease agreement. This rule is very important as well. Absolutely no smoking allowed inside the property, including the garage. A minimum of $1,000 is charged if there are any signs of smoking inside. If you, any guest, or family members would like to smoke, they must step outside. If costs to rid the home of smoke, smell, or nicotine stains exceed $1,000, you will be charged for all damages. Signs of smoking include, but are not limited to, ashtrays, cigarette butts, and smoke smell. Do not put condoms, feminine hygiene products, baby wipes, diapers, toys, or anything else in the toilet. Only toilet paper. Any issues with plumbing or septic caused by inappropriate items being flushed will be the responsibility of the tenant. Your indoor furniture goes inside and your outdoor furniture goes outside. In other words, no couches on the front lawn. Move-in inspections. You are accepting the property in as-is condition. Cosmetic items may not be corrected. Items affecting health and safety or essential services will always be addressed. You must report in writing within 7 days of moving in any pre-existing damages to avoid being held responsible at move-out. You will be supplied with a move-in inspection form. You may use this form or any other means to complete the inspection, but please do it. You may take pictures and email them to us. You may jot notes down on notebook paper, or you may send us an email indicating all the pre-existing damage. We have approximately 250 to 300 rental properties. I promise you, we will not remember what the inside of your unit looked like at move-in when you move out. We rely on your move-in inspection form to determine what is pre-existing and what we will charge for damages. Coat Property Management will complete a move-out inspection within 5 business days of you vacating the property and turning in keys. Utilities must be left connected for this inspection.
Move-out guidelines. Your lease agreement contains a move-out cleaning fee that is due at the time you move in. However, you will need to remove all your belongings and trash, including items in the refrigerator and freezer. Cleaning costs that exceed the cleaning fee will be charged against your security deposit. This includes costs to haul off any items or trash left behind. All carpets must be professionally cleaned and a receipt must be submitted to Coat Property Management. Unfortunately, if you do not turn in a receipt, the carpet cleaning will be taken out of your security deposit.
The landlord's insurance does not cover any of your personal belongings in the event of a fire or other loss of any kind, nor is the landlord responsible to repair or replace your damaged items. This includes food in a refrigerator in the event of an appliance failure. We highly recommend that you purchase renter's insurance. If you purchase renter's insurance through the same company that provides your car insurance, it will only cost approximately $120 a year. Tenant agrees landlord is not liable for injuries, damages, losses, suits, and claims arising out of or related to your failure to comply with the lease terms, your failure to comply with any requirements imposed by any government authority, or actions caused by you. This section informs you of when we have the right to access the property with or without consent. At any time in case of an emergency, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. for regularly scheduled maintenance, for example, filter changes, or between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. for a service that you request. For example, you have reported that your sink is leaking. When we initiate a work order, a copy will be emailed to you and the vendor. On the work order, the vendor will have your contact information. Our vendors will call you directly to schedule an appointment to come look at your maintenance issue. If there's an active leak and they have trouble getting in touch with you or your schedules just aren't lining up, they will come by the office, get a key, and go in to resolve the issue. At all other times during the lease agreement, we will give you a 24-hour notice to enter the property. We complete walkthrough inspections of each unit about once every 6 months. You will be given a 24-hour notice before your walkthrough. Once you submit your notice to vacate, we will start advertising for a new tenant and notify you 24 hours before any showings. If the unit is damaged by fire or casualty to the extent that it can no longer be safely inhabited, you have the right to vacate immediately and be released from the release agreement. For example, if the property is consumed by fire. If continued occupancy is lawful, we will adjust your rental rate for the loss of use for the effective square footage for the time it takes to get it repaired. For example, if a tree falls on the house and a room is damaged to the extent that it's not livable, we will prorate that loss of use. This does not, however, apply to the loss of an essential service. Property management is not liable in the event the government seizes the property or the home is foreclosed upon. If you are 15 days late on your rent and we are unable to find you, it can be considered abandonment. Cook Property Management can take back possession of the property. If there is more than $500 worth of your belongings inside the home, we will file an eviction against you. Non-compliance with the rental agreement. If you are violating the lease, we will post a notice giving you 14 days to remedy the breach. If a problem is not corrected, the lease is terminated and an eviction is filed. For example, if you have a car parked in your driveway that has a missing or expired tag, you will get a 14-day notice to remove the car from the property or have the proper tags put on it. If you fail to do either in 14 days, we could file an eviction. In the event that the rental agreement is terminated for any cause, the landlord has the right to possession of the property, collect unpaid rent, and file a claim for damages, attorney's fees, collection costs, and court costs. Any outstanding balances are turned over to a collection agency. In the event you need to terminate your lease early, you will remain obligated for the terms of the lease until we find a new tenant. Giving us ample notice gives us more time to advertise and find a new tenant. In many cases, we are able to refund the security deposit if there's no loss of income to the owner. We receive notice when it is delivered to our place of business. Our address is 106 Waldrop Street, Seneca, South Carolina, 29672. We accept email as written notification provided you receive an email confirmation from us. If written notice of a repair request is not received, it is the same as the landlord not having knowledge of the request. In such circumstances, the landlord's duty to make the repair in 14 days is waived. Please give us your repair request in writing. Email works as well. This is a legally binding agreement to ensure the benefit of the landlord and the tenant. If there is a mortgage on the property and the bank requests a copy of the lease, we will give it to them. If more than one person is signing the lease today, you are equally responsible for the entire rental amount and not just your portion of the rent. This means if one person does not pay their portion of the rent and we have to file an eviction, the eviction would be filed against everyone on the lease, not just against the person that failed to pay. Making rent payments, cash will be accepted during normal business hours only. Checks or money order can be left in the rent box outside the front door after hours. Please do not leave any cash in the rent box. If you'd like to mail your rent payment, please mail it to our P.O. Box. If you'd like to mail a notice, please mail it to our office or P.O. Box. The agreement may be communicated electronically via email or fax. The landlord and the landlord's agent, Cook Property Management, are not responsible for obtaining or disclosing any information contained in the South Carolina Sex Offenders Registry. If this information is important to you, please visit the online Sex Offenders Registry or call the Oconee County Sheriff's Department. The entire agreement. Nothing can be added or subtracted from the lease agreement once we have all signed today. In order to make any changes in the future, all parties must initial off on those changes and date them. Parties execute this agreement freely and voluntarily without relying upon any statements, promises, or representations except for what is in the lease agreement. It is your responsibility to ensure that a particular address falls within a school attendance line. It is also your responsibility to check crime statistics for a particular area, and it is your responsibility to verify cell phone coverage, internet service providers, and TV providers for any address. Represent the owner and take care of the property on his or her behalf. Tenants must communicate with Co-Property Management on all issues relating to the property and/or rental agreement. If you know the owner or meet the owner during your stay, all communications regarding the property are still to go through this office. This is so we can protect you. For example, if an owner gives you permission to paint a room but denies doing so after you move out, we will not be able to do anything about it if the request did not pass through our office.
You will receive a tenant information package. This contains general information about your lease in plain English, tenant guidelines, and a move-in inspection form. You are responsible for this information. You will also find things to try before you call, which contains common problems and simple solutions to try before calling in a repair request. Lauren and Allie's cell phone numbers are for after-hours emergencies. You must leave a voicemail and they will return your call. If they determine that your call is not a true emergency, they will return your call during business hours. A true emergency is one that will cause damage to the property if not addressed immediately, or there are some safety concerns. For example, a busted hot water heater that is dumping water onto the floor.
You have a lead-based paint addendum attached. This means that your home was built prior to 1978, and there is a possibility that lead-based paint was used at some point in the past. Lead may impact a child's development if ingested by mouth or sanded particles inhaled. For a pet that has been approved to live in the home, it is essential that the pet addendum be attached to the lease agreement. That pretty much sums up the lease. The following is required to get your keys. We must have a signed lease, the security deposit paid in full, the first month's rent paid, and all utilities transferred into your name. And that'll do it.